Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally answering the big question. Are you better off buying a new Nintendo Switch 2 or modding an older Switch? So let's grab our modded Switch and find out what makes sense to you. Over the last few videos, we've looked into what it takes to purchase, fix, and mod an older Switch. We've explored the process of making it your own, adding custom firmware, and expanding its capabilities. But now, with the release of the Switch 2, the question is, should you buy the new console, or stick with what you have and mod it? Now before we dive into the details, ask yourself these questions. Do you already own a Nintendo Switch? Are you someone who likes to play online? Do you want a handheld that does more than just play Switch games? And most importantly, how much do you want to customize your gaming experience? Now, if you already own a Switch and you're looking for a better gaming experience, modding your current device might be the way to go. If you have an older Switch, say a launch or Redbox version, and it is soft mod capable, you might want to keep it, mod it. It's a cost-effective way to extend its life. But if you want to keep online functionality, access to official updates, and even more modern experience, upgrading might be better. Now you don't necessarily need to buy the Switch 2 at its inflated price. The Switch OLED is a solid upgrade that's more affordable. Now you're not going to have the same hardware as the Nintendo Switch 2, but these first-gen Switches still have some life left in them, as that Switch 2 is just an inflated price with what it's got. Now recently I decided to test my modded Switch for basic functionality, battery life, gaming performance, and overall usability. Now I'm not running any overclock mods here, those can skew performance results, and there are plenty of videos out there covering that. I just wanted to see how a modded Switch would compare up to a stock one in everyday use. Now for my Switch, because it is soft modded and doesn't have a mod chip, we will talk about some pros and cons later on, so when we get there we'll bring up a few things. Now I ran some basic tests, playing some games on both devices. Now this was just using online benchmarks, as my Switch, I actually couldn't run any stock state because of something going on with the flash NAND. So these numbers will be my own, as well as numbers I found online with other YouTube testers. Now I checked battery drain, measuring load times, anything like that for basic usage. Now the results, they were surprisingly close with only minor variations. This suggests that for everyday use, a properly modded Switch can be as good as a stock one, with of course the added benefits of customization. Which brings us to, the key stats, both stock and modded Switch handles the game smoothly. Overclock mods can boost the performance, but they also increase heat and battery drain. Battery life, slightly reduced in the modded Switch, only because we have that mod chip. Now I don't have the mod chip, so it's not going to pull that. Just wanted to bring that up. If you have the mod chip, there's like a slight percentage of margin of error when it comes to battery life. It should not be pulling anything crazy, but that's just something to bring up. So if you're playing certain games, they may last a little bit longer. They may last identical. It's just slight margin of error. And one more thing for battery life, if you're running a custom firmware with background processes, it's going to take a little bit more of that drain. Just something happens when you're using the modded Switch. Now real quick for battery life, this was just using it in a stock state, not running any third-party software like Android or Linux. This was just the modded custom firmware Switch OS that just runs the games. So we have the good expanded functionality. We can run Linux, Android emulators, custom apps. We have more control over our interface, third-party software, and tweak performance. Now it is cost effective, as it only costs us a few bucks to get the chip to install it on this, and maybe some time and other tools. But there are some services out there where you can send in your Switch and they will do a custom mod chip install for you. So it does extend the overall life of our device without having to buy a new console. Community support, we have a large community support offering guides, tools, and mods. So the good thing is this is never going to go away and it's going to keep running. So the best thing is the community, reach out to them on different platforms, YouTube, Reddit, for pretty much expandability on what else you can do with that modded Switch. Now here comes the bad. Unfortunately, you will run into legal and warranty risks. Modding your Switch can void your warranty and may violate basic terms of service. Nintendo's out here breaking switches. You're not going to be able to play online, which brings us to you're going to lose access to official online features and risk ban. So if you want to keep that online functionality, you're not going to be able to mod your Switch and play online easily without risk of ban. Now there are some stability issues. Sometimes mods can cause crashes or bugs if they're not properly managed. We see that running the soft mod and the mod chip will actually put your storage device into a... Now we see when we were installing it that... Now we saw when we were installing both the soft and mod chip. Now we saw when we were running both the soft mod and the mod chip that you can run into some issues with the whole process, as it kind of corrupts your storage device when injecting the payload. So running everything off an SD card is actually better off. You could still use that in-built flash NAND. Maybe use that to hold your games while your SD cards hold your save files. It's all up to you. And then there's some complexity. Requires technical knowledge, careful handling when installing both the soft mod and the mod chip. But there are plenty of videos out there explaining the process, and there's a big community out there for assistance. Now I can say my only gripe for the modded Nintendo Switch is just the issue I have with mine. I can't boot into the stock firmware in the current state. Maybe I could fix it. But I need to run the soft mod every time I want to actually boot or charge the Switch. I believe I can just keep this thing plugged in. It'll charge very slowly. The original issue we were having. But that is the only bad I find with my modded Switch. Everything else is pretty good. Plays games well. I can run different firmwares or operating systems on it. It pretty much does what I want with a Nintendo Switch. I can overclock it if I want to, or just use it as is in a more stock firmware setting. So to me, I like this because it has more customization to it, but that is the only negative I see about it. It's just how I go about booting the device. Everything else is more of a positive. Which brings us to the final decision. Now I could have spent more time comparing a standard Switch to our now modded Switch, but I mean, at the end of the day, the choice is up to you as to what you're looking for in a Nintendo Switch, what you want it to do. You can mod your existing Switch to unlock new features, run custom software, and extend its lifespan. Buying a new Switch, like a Switch 2 or an OLED, for the latest hardware. Again, the OLED and the Switch 2 are not going to be on the same hardware functionality, but you do get an OLED screen if you buy the Switch OLED. For decent hardware, maybe better performance, and of course official support, or you can do a bit of both. Mod your current device for customization, and keep a newer one for online gaming and official patches. For me, the modded Switch offers a lot of exciting possibilities, running Linux, Android, custom firmwares. It gives you more control over your device and allows you to sideload apps, emulators, and more. Compared to the limited lockdown state of stock consoles, modding opens up a whole new world. So, what's the best choice for you? All depends on your needs, your budget, and how much you want to tinker with your device. I was able to get mine built all for around 100 USD. We got the Switch in a working state, and I have all the freedom we want. So ultimately, it's up to you. Am I saying to go out and do this yourself? No. If you're comfortable with the risks and want maximum flexibility, modding is a great option. If you prefer a straightforward, hassle-free experience, then just upgrade to a newer console. Doesn't have to be the newest, just a newer console. Might be better route for you. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and our small video series, please consider liking, subscribing for more tech and gaming content. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning to mod your Switch or you're just planning to upgrade to a newer console. Till then, happy gaming.